I came across something. You're familiar with the whole Diddy controversy, of course, right?
Of course.
And I saw this one dude. I've seen him before. I don't know his name, but he was talking about. He just had an interesting perspective on it. So I wanted to get your take
All
on it.
right.
I haven't seen the whole video. When it occurred to me, like, yo, this is something I want to get the Zoo's feedback on. I was like, all right, let me stop watching it so that we can get kind of a fresh take on it. You know, and so I haven't had a whole lot of time to mull it over in my head.
All right.
But
Bet. Let's do this.
all right, ready? I'm about to present right now.
Okay.
Well, from the angle of social commentary or social critique, the Diddy case is quite rich. There's a lot to talk about. For me, the most interesting thing is what is demonstrated on multiple levels about the Western
By the way, tell me when you want me to pause.
Okay.
Anything you want to respond to? Okay.
All right.
psyche. I mean, whether it's Weinstein or Epstein or Diddy or, say, R. Kelly or Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who everyone forgets about, the predation and the degeneracy of the super rich is always met with disingenuous shock and disgust. While simultaneously, without fail, we're also always told that everyone knew what these people were doing for years. And in fact, I think that most people do understand that this is how the super rich behave. So the shock is not genuine. But if we're being honest, the disgust isn't genuine either. Because in
Pause.
fact, being rich enough.
You said pause?
Yeah. I mean, I disagree with that. Like, come on. He named 4 people, right? How many super rich people are there in the world that are not acting like that? It's
how
a
many how
gross
many
generalization.
how many super rich people are there in the world that are acting like that we don't know about?
Maybe a couple, but we don't know. I mean, we know of 4 people, and we know there's many, 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 probably millions of billionaires out there. I don't know. I mean, in China alone, there's probably a couple hundred billionaires. In
Okay.
US, I'm sure there's a couple hundred. I mean, in every country, you probably have at least, I don't know, 20.
Thousands, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, okay, fine. I'll give him this gross generalization, but I like where he's headed, because I did see something where this lady was talking about the rich mindset, where basically you drop something and you look around, you're like, you're gonna pick that up for me. Like, basically, like, I'm rich, I don't have to pick this up, like, even
Yeah,
though
yeah,
I.
yeah.
And so, yeah, there's something to it,
Or
but
or how much money could you drop on the floor without even considering? Like, I know me, if I dropped a penny on the floor in public,
right, you would pick it up.
a penny, no, I might not. Like,
Right, a penny, right.
yeah, right. If
But
it made me look funny, like, so, like, would that be so? Scale that up to if I was a billionaire, or let's say, how much money could I, like, just bear to lose, right? Like,
yeah,
if $5 went missing from my wallet, how long would I think about that,
I
right?
know I know the answer for me, but what is it for you?
I would be like, yo, I thought I had $5 here. Where the fuck is it? And then that would be it. Yeah, you know what I
Yo,
mean?
I remember, like, maybe 1 year ago or something, not
Yeah.
that long ago, where I lost to 20, and legit I was heated for like a week, yo, straight up.
Yeah. All right. It depends. Yeah, it depends. But that's the thing, right? It depends. So, like, yeah. I mean, that's a 20. I probably wouldn't be heated for that long,
Yeah,
but
but I mean,
I would feel it. If I lost 100, I would be heated. I would be like,
no,
what
but
the
it's
fuck?
for me. It's not the actual. It's not the value of the money. Because tonight on the way to the gym, I
Yeah,
blew a red light and got the flash. So I'm expecting a ticket in the mail,
yeah.
and I'm like, whatever. I did the deed. Like, I'll pay the
That
crime,
gets
pay
me
the time.
more upset. But, like,
Nah,
yeah,
for me, it's not, because I know that I deserve it, or like, if I buy something stupid or
all right.
whatever.
But here's the question: let's say you were in a hurry. not for like an
And I
emergency.
wasn't too, by the way.
Right? Yeah. Let's say like, all right, you like you just don't want to sit
Yeah.
here for 3 minutes at a traffic light. So fuck it. There's no one coming. I'm gonna blow it, and
Yeah.
I know there's a camera there. Fuck you. Take my picture. I don't
I
know.
didn't know, by the way, but
Right now, there's the whole thing of like you could lose your license if you do that a certain amount of
I don't
times.
have a license, by the way. I haven't
All
had
right.
one.
Well, all right. Let's not go over traffic violations. Let's talk about you're sitting, like you want to go into a store, but there's no parking outside, and you know there's a chance of you getting a $60 ticket, right? At what scale of wealth is it just like, yo, I'm gonna pull up and go in? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Give me a ticket.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a meter maid down the block coming my way, and that meter maid is gonna be there writing my ticket in 3 minutes, and it's gonna take me at least 10 minutes to get done what I want to get done.
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
basically you're paying a fee. You're like, all right, yeah, no, I'm driving. I'm in the city. There's no parking. I want to go into this establishment. It's gonna cost me $60 to go in.
Yeah.
Me, I'm gonna either wait for the meter maid to pull by or circle the block, find a spot. Somebody with more money than me is gonna be like, yo, fuck $60. What the fuck is that? I'm going in. Like, you know what I mean? Give me my $60.
Yo,
I'll fucking
that reminds me of this my ex who said a lot of stupid shit, but she once said time or money, basically. Like
yeah.
life, you either spend time or you spend money. Like think about like
That's
Uber
real
Eats,
game right there.
you know,
That's
for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
But yo, we're digressing big time. But
No,
let me
but we're
just
not.
but let me just get back to my point,
Yeah.
because first of all, he's putting Dominique Strauss-Kahn in the class of straight up
All right, so who is that?
creeps.
Who is that?
Dominique Strauss-Kahn is he was, I think, he was the head of the World Bank.
Oh, that's the guy that got caught with like the Haitian.
Yeah, something like that. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't that crazy, you know. Like
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, maybe he hit her. I don't remember. It wasn't that nuts.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
he
know
went
who
to
he
some
is.
sex parties or whatever. But
Old white dude. Yeah.
yeah, and was married or something. I don't know. Nothing crazy. But R. Kelly, Epstein, and if allegedly, if what people are saying about Diddy is true with the pedophilia and the
Yeah.
rape and the drugging, all this, that's different. Like, yo, you can't. First of all, it has nothing to do with money. I'm gonna let him finish. Kanye. I'm gonna let him finish. But at the same time, I just had to interject that for a minute.
Yeah. All right. Let's let him flesh out his point.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We'll talk more. I mean, well, we can just pause it in the middle. I guess it's probably better we do that.
To behave this way is precisely why many people want to be rich.
All right. What do you think about that statement? Yeah.
I mean, again, I think you have to separate creepdom with rich, behavior. Like rich behavior is one thing,
Yeah.
acting like a rich fuck, who doesn't care about people, who thinks everyone is there to serve him or her. That's one type of asshole. But
Yeah.
but these three people that he named are Kelly, Diddy and Epstein. This is different. Like this is something that you've crossed a line. You see what I mean? Like
Okay.
don't
All right. No. I feel you. So you're kind of using other people for your own. I mean,
as toys.
as
But
toys.
no, but the thing is, yes, they're using we were talking about the three people. They're using other people as toys, as props, whatever, but they're violating. That's the thing. Like they're using underage, that's statutory rape no matter what. Like these people who are being used as toys are either being drugged and don't know it, or they're just too young to make a decision. And it's illegal for a reason. Like being a rich asshole is not illegal because you're not crossing a boundary. You see what I mean? So
I feel you. But they also have so much money that
they think they're untouchable.
But from the other end, the people that are engaging this stuff with them, the reason why they're going to the parties and surrounding them is because the amount of money that they can, just mindlessly pass along to these people is so enticing that it's like, all right, yeah, no, maybe it's morally, not on the up and up. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
there's some questionable shit going down here. But at the end of the day, you know, it's like, like the Instagram model that goes to Dubai
Yeah.
for, and lets some fucking sheik, or no, that's the wrong term, but
Yeah.
let some dude like duke
Yeah.
her. It's like,
Yeah.
it's disgusting, yeah, like, but I'm coming back with 50 G's to that.
Yeah, but you touched on something interesting in the sense that Epstein and allegedly Diddy, right? They are in company of really the
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 upper crust.
the upper crust, like the uppest of the upper.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so in Epstein's case, I think what we know, at least, a lot of those people who were going to that island were probably taking part in the activities with the kids,
Without a
right?
doubt.
Maybe or maybe not,
With the
right?
kids, or
Like,
at least
or
with whatever. I mean, maybe it wasn't all kids. Maybe it was just, there was
right,
like,
right,
just
right,
young
right,
women that
right.
ranged from.
But they, at least they knew what was happening and didn't snitch, and so that's a
Right.
crime. Also,
Well,
keep that in mind.
maybe this is them snitching.
No,
Epstein
like Clinton,
down.
for example.
Uh,
Clinton, right? A
right.
lot of
No,
people,
no,
even Jay-Z, like a lot of people are on record going to that island
yeah.
on those flights, and haven't. No one said anything about Epstein. No one snitched on
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Well, that's
And the
what he kind
same
of
thing,
said. He was like, people come out saying, "Yeah, we knew this was going on for years," and nobody
right,
says anything. So it's
right.
like, you can't then turn around and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is going on." But motherfucker, you knew this was
No,
going on.
they knew. But the thing, what you said is interesting in the sense that even if they knew, they probably either A, looked past it because they were benefiting,
Yeah,
right, for whatever reason, or B, just didn't know because with Epstein and Diddy, also keep in mind, like, there is a possibility where they were just keeping it separate. Like Diddy, right? I saw Diddy's his personal assistant on TikTok today, and he was like,
yeah,
"Oh, people," and this guy is a complete moron, and he was wrong. He was saying, "Oh, people are saying that Diddy was forcing people into these parties." No, he wasn't forcing people. And first of all, no one was saying he was forcing people. He was
yeah,
paying people and he was drugging people. But you and I both know, growing up in New York, these parties were everything. Us being, adjacent to entertainment people, we
yeah,
knew that people were going to these parties in the Hamptons, and if you went to that party, you made it, you were somebody, right?
right,
and
right.
and so there was obviously a before 9 p.m. and an after 9 p.m., and so that's, I think, what the lawyers are having to decipher now, in the sense that, yeah, we can't arrest everyone who was there before 9 p.m. Like apparently Jay-Z and Beyonce were after 9 p.m. guests. You see what I mean? And that's what
Right.
everyone's up in arms about. Like, they're trying to decide who is the after 9 p.m. guest. Ashton Kutcher, and I saw this fucking. There's so many fake videos now. There's a fake video of Diddy performing seances and fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, audio of him fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. You heard the Meek Mill audio. Like, who knows what any of that is true and not true? Because now it's crazy, yo. TikTok, I be scrolling on TikTok, and
Yeah,
now 99.9999999% is about Diddy, from all walks of life: white, black, old, American, non-American. They're
yeah,
all talking about some aspect of Diddy, and everyone's got a revelation.
yeah.
And
You think Diddy could be a fall guy for, you know?
I heard a theory about that, but I never paid it any mind because there's so many theories. Like, right now, I'm overhearing theories. The lawyer said he was going to release indictments this week, and then I saw another interview with him saying no, he's not going to. He has to figure it out first. So it's like everyone's wasting their. People aren't having real conversations like we're having. They're posting 1 minute videos with outrageous,
Well,
outlandish.
they're doing it for views, and
Yeah, exactly.
if we
Right.
post this video, we'd be doing the same thing.
Right, but we're having a valid discussion. We're not just making claims about something
Oh yeah,
that's.
yeah, yeah.
You see what
No,
I mean?
and what this guy said. Yeah, let me play more of this video because what
Yeah,
he
yeah,
says, he's not just staying on the surface with this. He's
yeah,
tying
yeah,
it
yeah. I can see. I
to
can see that he's going somewhere
yeah, he's
intellectual
yeah.
and
All
different.
right, yeah, yeah. Let me roll it. I don't want to
Right.
paraphrase.
Go
Just
ahead,
let's
go ahead.
just hear him out.
The predation and the degeneracy are not peculiarities of the wealthy. The thing that makes them different is that they have the resources that enable them to do it. But for a very large percentage of people in the West, the only thing that's preventing them from behaving the same way is their comparative poverty, not their comparative piety. The rich are not necessarily any worse than the rest of the people morally. Their wealth just removes the constraints that restrict other people from being just as bad. I mean, if you look at popular entertainment, the sort of lifestyles that are promoted in popular entertainment and were promoted in the film and music industries by the likes of Weinstein and Diddy and R. Kelly and everyone else, that's the degenerate, debauched, hedonistic, anti human, immoral lifestyle that they themselves were living and to which the consumers of that entertainment aspire. It's completely consistent with the mentality of colonizers and slave masters. The fantasy lifestyle for Westerners is brutal. It is to dominate, to humiliate, to exploit, abuse, subjugate, degrade,
Well,
objectify, dehumanize, tyrannize, and enslave.
pause,
That's the
pause.
Western fantasy. It always was, and it is.
Yo, that's an ill point. Let me
Yeah.
get a new battery for my vape, but I got something to say about that.
All right, go for it.
All right, yo. What he said is ill. He said that, basically what I heard was that, what at least what R. Kelly and Diddy um have been saying in their music, a lot of their music, not all of it, but a lot of it is what they're living. You see what I mean? So it's like the fans,
Right, but would they would
we like that. We want that.
exactly?
If you think about 90s hip hop, it was all about I can control you. I can, a lot of the lyrics, if you really analyze them from the 90s and early 2000s, like they're saying a lot of like for example, there's a Rick Ross lyric where
Yeah,
he legit says, I put something in your drink without you knowing it. He says that. I forget the exact line.
it's a lot of ego flexing and a lot of
Right.
like, yeah,
And
it's
but
very
that's what we want. That's what we're consuming.
right, and we wouldn't be consuming it. It's not like we're being brainwashed into wanting that shit. It's like no, it's striking a chord with a lot of people who cannot live out their fantasies in real
Right.
life and want
And
to live vicariously through these rappers who are
right.
fucking random women,
Right.
making quick money,
Right.
living
That's the other thing.
lifestyles.
The money thing. Like, think about it. Every single rap song to this day is talking about I got money. Every single one.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Like it doesn't matter. Even 90s hip hop. Actually, no, 90s hip hop, I'll give it to us because that's our era, and like they weren't talking about that shit. Like some were, Puffy was, maybe Biggie, and not Pac, not a lot. I would say 80-90%, Tribe Called Quest, all these people, they're not talking about money because
Yeah,
you see what I mean? But all of the commercial rap is talking about money, chains, guns,
yeah,
all of
but
this
that
stuff.
was very marketable because for that
Right,
reason.
but why? And it's marketed. Who's buying it? The white kids,
I mean,
who
yeah,
can't say the N word. They're saying it
that's
in their
not yeah,
car.
but
It's maybe it's a different subject, but
the
I'm just saying,
yeah,
like what
no,
he touches on is that we as consumers are encouraging this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the Biggie, the R. Kelly. Look at the R. Kelly video. When that first came out, people weren't upset about it. They were loving it. Oh, he pissed on this girl. Did you see it? You remember Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle did a skit about it, not saying he wasn't. I don't know. It was, I don't know. Same thing with Puff. It's like, yeah, not insiders knew that he was a control freak, whatever. Like, I don't know if you know the story when he offered me a job at Daddy's house. He offered me a job to be the in-house engineer because someone I recorded at Soundhound suggested me to him. And so
Yeah.
I got a call from him. I don't know if I told you this story. I got a call from him at Soundhound, and it was Harvey Pierre. It was his right-hand man.
Okay.
And basically said, "Oh, you were recommended. We're looking for an in-house engineer at Daddy's house, and we want to offer you we want to bring you in for an interview. But there's one thing you should know before you come in, that you will need to be on call 24/7. You will have no time to have any personal life. So if you have a girlfriend, tell her, we're more important. If you see what I mean, your weekends, they're ours, that kind of thing." And as
Yeah.
soon as I heard that, I was like, no thanks. Like, like, people don't have the gall to say that, even though that's expected. When you're up and coming as an engineer or whatever, it's expected, but you don't come out and say it. Like, that takes balls to be like, yeah, I can say this. I can even put it in a contract if I want. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's a different class of person who thinks that they can treat people like that.
Yeah. No, I feel what you're saying. And yeah, no, I think you might have brought that up in the past a
Yeah,
long time ago.
yeah,
Because I do vaguely remember something like that. But
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think what he's doing, with this like little monologue, is he's diverting the attention and he, on the celebrity, and taking that attention and putting some of the responsibility on the consumer
yeah,
of whatever the celebrity lifestyle. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, we are all up in the tabloids. We consume, or we live vicariously in a way.
it's in the
Watch,
title, The American Dream.
exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So basically, it's what the average American is aspiring to, and
Exactly.
maybe we don't fall into that on that level. Like, if I had a bunch of money, would I go out and buy like a Hellcat and have 50 pairs of Jordans and like perpetuate that vein of the culture that
Probably.
maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like
Why not?
I can't answer that because I don't have $1 million. You know what I mean? So
Nah, but nah, come on. If you got $1 million, you
I would
would
I would I would I
get some
would I would
toys.
have more of the things that I wanted and less of the things I don't. That's all I really can say, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and and I
But
would
$1 million
definitely.
isn't that much anymore.
No, you're right. Yeah, right. Yeah, basically. But yeah, no, 100%. But damn, like, $1 million is not a whole lot anymore. But I would
But it's
probably
a lot
it
more
would
than we have.
it would
But
yeah
yo,
it would be
social
enough
media.
to corrupt some of my, like there would it would give me a lot of leeway to explore a lot of things that I might want to explore today, but
Yeah,
don't
of
have
course.
the leverage to really.
Another tangent
Yeah,
is on the American Dream, and basically we should do a different call about it, because basically, the American Dream has become different with social media.
yeah,
And I think even before social media, the American Dream, I remember telling people, but I think before social media came out, or maybe at the beginning of it, people in, outside of America, like, who were asking about it, who didn't know anything, they were like, oh, and I was like, you don't understand. The American Dream is not what you think it is. It's not you can work from the bottom and get to the top. That's the old definition of the American dream.
No,
And yeah,
fuck the top.
maybe
The top wasn't even a part of the American dream was that you could live, that you could be at the bottom and still have a certain level
no
of 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 I guess,
lifestyle.
yeah,
Nah,
exactly,
nah. For me, the
quality of
old
life.
American dream was you can start at the bottom and get to a point of comfort, basically.
Yeah,
Maybe not the top, you're right. But
yeah,
you could start at the bottom, like you could come from another country with zero money and
yeah,
you can work, one, two jobs, and you can make enough to, buy a house. Yes, be comfortable, not
yeah,
be at the top, you're right. But and that still happens maybe 0.1% now, but what the American dream morphed into is that any fucking idiot can have overnight success if they
yeah.
say the right thing to the right person for
Very
enough
true.
time.
Yeah,
Like I lived in LA for a year. I know the whole thing is like, oh, what can you get me? Everyone's pretentious because everyone's trying to make it. Every person that you're sitting next to, New York too, every third person that you're sitting next to can make your career. And so everyone's constantly showcasing what they have, and it's like if you do that long enough, we call it the hustle. If you hustle long enough, you will make it overnight. You know what I'm saying? Like overnight successes, I think you said it to me. Um, yeah, when I was telling you about this guy John Bellion, I was like, oh, I just heard about him, but he produced this song and this song, and you were like, yeah, no one, everyone's in the background because that's the hustle. They're working long enough, but
yeah,
when they get to the right person, that's the dream, because it's an overnight dream. It's one night. You've been doing it long enough, and then finally you made it, and then
break the
the next
surface.
night you're mega famous, mega powerful, mega rich, mega, paparazzi and all this stuff. But
Yeah,
anyway, what was I gonna say about?
fuck.
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna let you go. The last thing is just that, but it's crazy because with social media now, this is another case study. People are these kids. Like I remember you were talking about it to me for a long time ago about the families and opening the. Remember we tried to do a movie treatment. The
Yeah,
families opening the toys and exploiting the kids because that's like we were talking about $1 million is not that much. These you can on social media, anyone can do it now. You don't even have to say the right thing to anyone. You just do it. Like this
yeah,
is what we've been talking about. This is why we're on recording this, because we're like, I want a piece of that. Like all these
yeah,
people shouldn't be making all this money when we're having more interesting conversations, that people will resonate with, when there's all these, young kids. Like, have you seen that Spanish girl who makes everything viral on shorts? Like, it's crazy this what social media has done in terms of the
yeah.
economy, and now AI too. It's anyway. That's a whole nother tangent. Go
No,
ahead.
no, it's real. I mean, yeah, and I think back to the American Dream thing. It's like it's definitely it takes on different forms for different people. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah,
people, like you said, to be able to work hard and move up, and that to be real with you, I don't think that American Dream is dead. I think the opportunities for people to
yeah,
go into business and work
yeah.
for themselves and
That's true.
you also have people like myself who are like, yo, their American dream is to get the fuck out of America. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
No,
yo,
that's right.
yeah, other
I don't.
people,
I you couldn't pay me to go back to America to live,
yeah,
yo.
yo, yeah, I
You
mean,
couldn't pay
I
me.
don't,
I've
I
been
don't
out of
blame
a, I've been out of America. Look, I'm proud to be, an American and from New York, but I haven't been there and I haven't lived there in almost almost 20 years now. 12 years here in France, probably 6 in China. You see what I mean? Like that's almost 20.
you. Yeah,
And I have no desire to go back, like for real. Like I wonder a lot how a lot of my friends have no desire to leave. And I just chalk it up to, different strokes. But
they don't know.
for me,
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, so I agree with you. The American dream is different for everyone. That's a good
yeah,
point.
without
Yeah.
a doubt. All
All
right,
right, hold on. Let me get Jules. Hold on. And then press pause.
all right. I'm gonna do the same. As a matter of fact,
Huh?
I said I'm gonna do the same. I'll get something to drink. I'll be
All
right
right,
back.
but
You,
go ahead.
if you can you pause the stream?
Nah, I'll just edit it. It's fine.
All right, I'll be right back. All right. So after a short break, we're back. Press play, right?
Is now, and they act upon it any chance they get. I mean, they'll prosecute these types of people, these select cases, only to absolve themselves. You know, they need to burn someone at the stake just to convince themselves that they're better than them, that they're more righteous and more moral than them, but they're not. Most of them are not. I mean, look at any music video, almost any music video, and tell me how it's not promoting the exact same lifestyle that you claim to hate Epstein and Weinstein and Diddy for. Meanwhile, those videos have hundreds of millions of views and hundreds of millions of likes, and you memorize the words of those songs. You have a problem. You can't reform yourselves. You can't reform and rehabilitate your so called civilization by just prosecuting token offenders. Finding these people guilty doesn't make you innocent. When you made them rich and you made them famous on the very basis of the degenerate messaging that they promoted and that you devoured. You've endorsed it all along and you endorse it now. You aspired to it then and you aspire to it now.
I agree with him, but I hope he will get to a solution because just identifying a problem, like it's kind of counterproductive. It's kind of like saying, "Oh, I hate living in US, but I live here." You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
but it's a start. You know, it's definitely
yeah,
a
it's a
start.
start. It's a
You know,
start, but it's I mean, I think we were talking about this once where it's like there's so many systematic problems that are so hard to address, like this commercialization of misogyny and whatever he's
yeah,
talking about. Like, it's such a part of our culture. Like, it is our culture. It's like, even from slavery, that's misogyny. That's the whole point.
yeah, yeah.
It was just about color and not sex, but it became about gender you
But
know
all right, so like when we clicked off, we paused the video. We were talking a little bit about like, yo, you can go into another country, and if you're making money here and living over there, your money goes so much farther. And maybe, you
Well,
know,
depending on the country, but yeah.
yeah, okay, right. But there's most countries from the U.S., most countries, right?
Yeah.
Um, your money is going to go farther. You're going to have way more leverage. You're going to have way more opportunities, and your status is going to rise, right? And the motivation for a lot of people to retire and move to Mexico, Dominican Republic, Colombia, you
China.
know, China, Costa Rica, Panama, any of these countries, the motivation is in this country, my pension of 4,000 with my social security of 2,000 or whatever the fuck puts me in a earning bracket that sets me apart from most of the people that
But
I'm around. So all of a
also,
sudden, I'm the rock star. I'm the fucking
yeah, but
the
it's also, just to add to that, it's also not only about money, because we had this acronym when we were living in China called LBH,
yeah,
because
loser back
basically
home.
if you're a
Yeah,
loser back home, you come here and you're the king, because they have no idea that you're a loser, and to them you're new,
I don't buy that though. I don't buy that. It's not that they don't have no idea because I think no matter where you go, there you are, right? That holds true. So if you're like socially awkward or any of that kind of shit, or you're 100 pounds overweight, or you are ugly, or whatever the case may be, you're still gonna be that.
No,
But
but that's taboo or frowned upon in US, whereas it may not be. Like in China, black people get stared at like they're animals in a zoo, because they don't they're not there. Now it's more, but when I was living there, they would come up to black people and touch their hair and be like, "Oh my god, are you a celebrity? Are you, you know?" And like it's because they don't know or they don't care about your low status back home, because to them you automatically have this high status regardless of money, just because
Yeah,
you're new, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah, but with that status, your ranking goes up, and a lot of opportunities open up to you. That's basically what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
And you know that whole famous overnight type thing, or like you take any famous person and remove the context of them being famous, and all of a sudden, yeah, they a lot of them have certain qualities about them that would make them appealing on some level, but there are so many people in the world that have those same qualities that they would just be. It's like plucking these people out of obscurity and putting them up
You
on.
know,
No, go ahead.
no, you know what I think the common personality trait is that, like, when you become, I don't know, maybe famous isn't the right word, because maybe it's rich, I don't know. If you become powerful,
Yeah,
it's usually like you said, it's not by accident. It's like we discussed, it's about hustle. And I
yeah,
think to have that hustle, you have to, like, for example, you remember Sufjan, right? Growing
yeah,
up, he used to spit to 10 chicks a day, and eight of them, nine of them would say, "Fuck off, you ugly," right?
yeah.
But it wouldn't bother him. He would wait for the one who was like, "Yeah, let's do this." And for me, I don't live like that. Like, one rejection for me is devastating.
It's like soul
So
crushing. Yeah,
yeah, so it's like, the type of people like Sufjan are the ones who will get to that point where,
yeah.
they will reach that level of success, whether it's money or fame or power or whatever. And and good for them, um but also, I forgot what my point was.
No, no, no. Just yeah. I mean, I understand what you're trying to say. It's there are underlying qualities that
Right.
get people from point A to point B. It's not just pure random luck.
Right.
Um, yeah,
And
yeah,
I think part of that, that ability to take rejection and keep pushing is like, it's like a type A personality, like an alpha.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I think that when you, like, what this guy is probably saying is that those people, when they get to that point, it doesn't make them different than the alphas who didn't make it, who want to do that stuff. It's
true.
just, they're just doing it. And like I think he's saying, we find the Diddy or the Epstein, but there's probably all these people, like you said, probably all these people who are doing this that we don't know about. And of course there's pedophiles and there's creeps, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah.
But
Or just people who are willing to, you know, take resources from. I mean, look, back to kind of what I was saying. It's like you have all these corporations, right,
yeah,
that
that's,
sell
yeah,
stuff in the U.S. because they're earning money in the U.S., but they're making those things in other countries, right?
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's the same exact thing. You're going where it's most
Yeah,
advantage.
you don't care about third world labor. That's why I had to stop living in China and working in manufacturing, because it was disgusting what I was contributing to. Now I'm in research, in that's helping society, and I feel good waking up every day.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you're right, business is the perfect example. It's no different than these Diddy's and Epstein's. It's no different.
Yeah, yeah.
Every single
The
business is
willingness to
trying.
take advantage of that disparity in privilege, wealth, and opportunity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
It's
also
basic.
you're creating a false demand for products that not only could be harmful, but that no one needs. Like,
Yeah,
it's commercialism, I'm sorry, capitalism
Yeah.
is really, we've talked about this before, where it's gotten out of control. Like, it's at its core, it's a good concept and it's healthy, right? You reward the hustlers, basically, right? If you're lazy, you don't get shit. And that's great. But what we've done to it, America, is ultra capitalism. I think someone was saying ultra capitalism. We might have watched a video or something where
Yeah.
it's like, this is getting to a point where there's no return. Like, we can't go back, and it's like a self-destructive kind of path spiral, and I think that's what I was saying, alluding to before, is that, yeah, it's great to identify this stuff, but it's
Where
frustrating to not be able to change anything.
well, let's see. Let's see where he goes with
See
this.
where he
This
goes.
is about as deep as I got into the video right here.
Okay.
I mean, you literally have someone like Andrew Tate who directly built his wealth through and for this very lifestyle, and by selling to others how they could do the same thing and have that same lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because this is the Western male fantasy. I mean, think about it.
Pause,
Everybody in
pause,
this
pause.
case, in the Sean Combs.
Yo, it's a good example right there, because remember when you first told me about Andrew Tate, I had no
Yeah.
idea who he was, and you were like, "Yo, this dude is spitting some knowledge. Check him out." And I started looking into it, and I was like disgusted. I was like, "Yo, this dude is repulsive,"
Yeah.
and I kept trying, because you were like, "Yo, you got to just get over the surface level and listen to some of the concepts he's trying to get across." And I kept trying, and but it's a perfect example what this guy is saying, of like the type A personality that people are attracted to,
Yeah.
maybe because they are or they're not like them, but they see that that generates wealth. You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, to shit on people and get down to bare bones of whatever it is lucrative. You see what I mean? That's the point. Like,
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
Weinstein, another one. It's like he only briefly mentioned Weinstein, but it's another thing. It's like Weinstein, it's like that dude was mad powerful because of his movies, but he was shitting on everyone to get there. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think you know where I'm going. I'm having a hard time putting words to it,
I feel you.
but it's like, yeah, Andrew Tate. It's another thing where it's like it's repulsive to a lot of people, but he's obviously making money, and that's interesting.
Yeah. 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 Well. Yeah. Well. Yeah. There's aspects that are repulsive. Um.
But
It's
that's
also,
what's
but it
but
also
those
has me
aspects
thinking.
are what is giving him publicity. You see what I'm saying? He's not getting publicity for the knowledge he's spitting. He's getting publicity for the repulsiveness of the way he's spitting. You see what I'm saying?
No, he's getting notoriety.
Right, right,
Right.
right, right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But that notoriety is
But
also
no,
kind of weaponized, right? So look at it like this, right?
but no one would
Are,
care if he wasn't saying that type.
do we know? Um. Well, hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother can of worms. But do
Yeah,
we know all the information about any of these characters?
absolutely not.
Right. And
But do we need
is
to?
it possible
We don't need
that
to.
is it possible that these people have been offered up to us, like he said, to deflect from
The systematic, yeah,
yeah how normal and widespread this really is. So
yes,
to deflect from the
yeah,
people
to
that
have a scapegoat.
yeah, because none of these people seemingly are they rub shoulders with other wealthy people, but you telling me that Diddy is financially on the level of like someone who owns a pharmaceutical company, or
No,
someone who owns weapons manufacturing, or
Yeah, of
you
course.
know,
Black
like
Rock.
yeah, like
The
yeah,
Rothschild.
yeah,
Yo, someone I know here just got a job for Rothschild. Um, Rothschild Holdings, I think it's called. And I was
yeah.
like, damn, yo, that's crazy. Um, but yeah, no, I feel you. You're right. But at the same time, that's one way to look at
And
it.
those are the people that are never going to be wrung out
Right.
in
Right,
public.
right, right.
You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
So the fact that these people are being wrung out
Right.
has me thinking, because you could put Andrew Tate in the same category
Yeah.
if you look at it through that lens, where it's like, you know,
Yeah.
they
I
they
agree.
all they all pose some form of threat. If Diddy and Epstein are collecting, material on people that could be used against them, if Andrew Tate is close enough to a strata of person in real life, right, where the things that he's saying are hitting the nail too hard on the head, right, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, then yeah, these people are going to be wrung out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On,
That's
on,
like the Illuminati theory. Yeah, I agree with that. I
yeah,
honestly
or
do.
not Illuminati, just like power protecting
Yeah.
power. You know what I mean? And
But that's what Illuminati apparently supposedly is. Even though Dwayne was like, "Oh, I got invited to the Illuminati." Did he tell you about that?
yeah, no, I mean maybe I don't know. He's
Anyway, no, but yeah, that's the concept, which is like the ultra powerful and untouchable form a group and make decisions about stuff,
yeah,
Um
or maybe it's not like
yeah,
subconscious. It's
I
just like
mean just you saw Zeitgeist, even just the Rothschilds or the Fed. The Fed
yeah,
is an economic example of exactly that, where it's like it's this secret, society that was never supposed to be and is running the world. Like, how do you just decide to print money
yeah,
and you don't care about inflation and budget deficit, all this stuff?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a wormhole, definitely.
yeah,
Rabbit
yeah,
hole.
yeah, yeah. No, but I agree with your point that
Yeah,
probably the real fucking perpetrators are still behind the
yeah,
scenes
and these are
wrapping it up.
middlemen who are
Yeah,
put forward either
yeah,
as sacrificial lambs,
yeah.
or
But at the same time,
and
we all saw.
not that they're innocent, not that they're
No, right.
innocent,
That's what I
right?
was gonna say. Is that at the same time we all saw Diddy kick Cassie. We all saw
Yeah,
R. Kelly, piss on girls, young underage girls. Like it's still inexcusable. Like it's kind of the difference. If what people are saying
I
is
actually haven't seen R. Kelly piss on.
nah, neither have I. But anyway, what people are saying is true, basically Jay Z is is like an example of the untouchable, because there's this wild theory where it's like, okay, Jay-Z was connected to Epstein,
Yeah,
R. Kelly, um obviously Diddy, and probably even Weinstein. I think he did a movie with Weinstein's brother, actually. He did.
sure. Yeah,
Anyway,
Weinstein.
but
That dude, that Weinstein died.
no, he's in jail.
Oh,
But the point is that Jay Z was smart enough to deflect it on other people. Like, there's a theory saying he's the one who set up R. Kelly. He's the one who blah blah blah. He's the one who blah blah blah. And so,
I
like,
mean,
they're saying he's worse than Diddy, but he's smarter because he's not getting caught doing stupid shit. So yeah, I agree with you that they're probably scapegoats to a certain extent, but at the same time, they're stupid enough to get caught. You see what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No,
At
I hear
some
you.
level.
Yeah. Anyway, press and
Yeah,
play.
go
Hold on.
ahead. Yeah.
Case. Everybody wants to know about the celebrities who were at those parties. No one wants to know about the nameless, faceless executives,
Right.
the obscure, pasty old men for whom those parties were undoubtedly actually arranged in the first place.
Absolutely.
The celebrities were just the draw. They were the party favors provided for those anonymous owners and controllers of global financialized capital. But you want to know about the celebrities because even in your proclaimed disgust, you're still fantasizing. So I
Mhm.
find the selective disgust to be performative. And that's actually useful. That's a useful thing to know about the Western psyche and how they
I don't know if it's
respond when
performative.
the crimes of their society get highlighted. Because, yes, in my view, these are crimes of Western society because the individual crimes of someone like Diddy are reflective of the values and the aspirations of Western society
Hold
itself.
on, real
So when
quick. I don't know if it's performative disgust. I do think it's ignorant disgust, meaning that people are happily clueless to what's really going on,
Well, the
and when they
people,
see
oh
and
yeah, yeah, but
and
then,
when
but
they see
somebody,
people that they've seen before, like if you see Leonardo DiCaprio getting fucked by Diddy or whatever, you're like, oh
yeah,
damn, I've seen 100 Leonardo DiCaprio movies. I love every one of them. It's interesting to now see him in this other light. You see what I mean? That's why it's like
right, right, yeah, but I
the
don't think
same
he's talking.
concept
I
of
think he's
people
talking about,
loving the fall. You know, they
yeah.
love when people
No, oh
fall. They
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
ride
The
and they
random
like the
person, yeah,
fall.
but there's a whole organized and orchestrated apparatus that is sending the feds to Diddy's residences, right? That uh, you know, there's obviously a sudden moment where this is going on, everyone knows it, and then all of a sudden it's green light, go, we're gonna
Yeah,
rent the
but
motherfucker
I
out.
agree with you on that. But what he's saying now
And
is
same
that
thing with Andrew Tate. If you think about it, it was the same kind of thing. Like everyone knows this dude, what he's up to, and all that kind of shit. And there's
yeah,
probably 1,000 Andrew Tates out there, but it's one moment. It's like, yo, green light, go. This dude says the wrong
yeah,
thing, and there are interviews with Diddy where he's trying to create like a third party, political party, and he's trying to fund that shit. And there's there's other, not to say that has anything to do with anything, but but like Gaddafi, right? Gaddafi was killed, right? Um, and it comes out like, yeah, this dude was making real power moves to unify the African
yeah.
continent
No, I
economically,
agree with all
and
that. I
you
agree
know,
with all that. But I
and
think
it's like,
what he's saying now is the selective disgust of people. And I think that the common person is not thinking about what we're talking about right now. They're
but
not
what he's
thinking
saying,
about
yeah, yeah, no, but
people
you don't have
behind the
to. You don't
scenes.
have to.
They don't care because they can't see them. You see what I
No,
mean?
but
They
they
don't
also
know
can't.
them.
They also can't see their own subconscious. So it's not that
Maybe.
you're consciously aware of like, oh, Diddy is me and I am Diddy. Or like, like if
No,
I
it's
was
not
in
even
Diddy's
that.
shoes, I would be doing the same thing. But
Nah, it's not even that. It's like you can't be disgusted at something that's abstract. Like yes, we're talking about BlackRock executives, healthcare executives, but
yeah,
as soon as we know a name, then we can be disgusted. But until we know a name, we can't be disgusted. You see what I'm saying? Like Puffy, less so Epstein because no one really knew him, but
yeah.
Puffy,
But look how
R.
big
Kelly,
Epstein got. Like everyone was,
but because he was a money guy, that's why.
yeah,
He was a money guy. But the point is that when you got to think about the ignorance is bliss. The reason why commercialism and capitalism is so popular is because we we work hard and we don't want to. It's like hip hop. We don't want to listen to some intricate beat. We want to listen to something simple. At the end of a workday, we're tired. We don't want to fucking think too much. We just
yeah,
want to be entertained. Well, that's why you think Real Housewives is so big? Because people are like, oh, I just want to turn my brain off. I've been working all
yeah,
day. Yeah, Diddy, we know. R. Kelly, we know. Weinstein, we know. But these other people who are undoubtedly behind the scenes worse and controlling shit, we
we don't
don't
know.
know them. So we can't be disgusted at them. Even if we talk about it, we'll only get so far because they're smart enough to keep themselves hidden. You see what I mean? When you
Yeah,
become a celebrity, you have to know that you're under a
you're a
microscope.
public
And
person.
yeah, you can't if you choose to do it, like if Jay-Z is doing this shit and he's smart enough to hide it, then okay, fine, maybe more power to you. But I don't know. You see what I mean? Like we don't know. We don't see you on camera, committing horrible
Yeah,
horrific
yeah.
acts.
Now you're touching on the famous Rumsfeld quote, where it's like, there's the known knowns. You know what you know, and then there's the stuff you know you don't know,
Yeah.
and then there's the stuff that you don't know you don't know. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, which is actually like it sounds stupid to say, but it's that's a real fucking game right there. Because like
Yeah.
yo, it's like yeah, like we can't speak on the stuff we don't know about.
Yeah.
We can speak on the stuff we don't know about, right? A little
Yeah.
bit, and the stuff that we think we know. Oh yeah, and then it's the fourth category, the stuff you think you know that you really don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like like that MTV phrase: "You think you know, but you have no
Yeah.
idea." Like the
It's
MTV Cribs section.
it's a bit far fetched, but even the tattoo on my arm, the Serenity Prayer,
Yeah,
is similar. It's like there's certain things I can change and certain things I can't.
yeah,
It's the same kind of concept. It's like I can put a face to Diddy. I have memories of Diddy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have memories of R. Kelly enjoying it and fantasy. Aspiring to be like that for whatever reason, and now seeing them do this, that's it's not repulsion as much as um kind of like, damn, like I
yeah.
didn't know. It makes them more interesting to a
And
certain
you know
extent.
what? Glossing over one
What?
major aspect of this. This is all sexual shit, right?
Yeah.
Which is touching on just the reality of you know, most men fantasize about being with like nubile women, right?
Yeah, actually,
Right?
you're bringing up a good point because we were talking about this when we were on pause too. Because, like, it's the same thing. Like, even the most powerful intellectual women,
Yeah,
when they're not in public, they're it's okay and normal for them to either be submissive or whatever, or get freaky. Like, that's part of the game, is that we all have a private life and a
yeah,
public life,
yeah,
even non-celebrities like us. You see what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And so that's, I think, with the fascination, in the sense that when we're connecting what we thought these people were to who they might actually be or might not, as you said. Maybe they're the scapegoat, but yes, he did kick Cassie in the head. Like, that's, we saw that. You see what I
yeah,
mean? That's, no one put him up to that. Like, that's,
yeah.
or maybe someone did, which makes it even crazier. But even
No, no,
still,
no, no, no. But
you know,
but if no, maybe no one put him up to that. But at the same time, there. I mean, unfortunately, that's like some domestic shit, which is super common, and
right?
usually the eruption of some other underlying thing that's going on there that no one
Yeah,
can speak about, and it it has a lot to do with the whole relation between victim and victimizer,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
it's
agree with
not
you.
it's never as black and white as it
I
ends up
agree.
being.
Yes, domestic is more difficult. You and I both know that for sure. But another interesting point about Diddy is that you, this, what's coming out now, is connecting a lot of dots,
Yeah,
right? That we've seen inklings of in the past. Look at
yeah,
Craig Mack. Look at Biggie. Look at Shine. All these people, Mace. All these
yeah,
people that he clearly, openly took advantage of. May have even had Biggie killed, right?
yeah,
Clearly, like, I saw an interesting TikTok where they looked at the video of him doing the Sting song, right? Which, by the way, I don't know if you know, but Puffy has to pay Sting, I think it's $1 million a month until Puffy turns 80. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, because he never got the clearance, but he used it anyway. But
Sure.
anyway, the point is that you remember that performance, I think it was the VMAs, right after Biggie died, where Puffy came out doing his dance all across stage, talking about, I miss you and all this. I never, like, it's kind of like if you really were his boy and didn't want this to happen, wouldn't you just lay in the cut and be like, "Yo, I'm sorry, I'm grieving." Like, why do you need to sing? You see what I mean? Make it a whole spectacle, make it about you. Like, but so that those type of things, they're a bit more hard to grasp. But just the basic things like Black Rob, Mace, Puffy, all these people. Craig Mack, you know what I'm saying? Like all
Yeah,
these people, like even the Locks did one song with him, never got paid. Like these are things where he was taking advantage of people, and now that's a part of the fascination also, where we're like, damn, it makes sense, and we were seeing, some suspect behavior, and
yeah,
it's kind of vindication to see him get caught almost. At least for someone like me who never liked him. I for me, I was never a fan of his. I was like, why are you rapping? Like, shut up. I felt like Suge. Like, can you just put the mic down? Let the rapper rap. Like, no one
yeah,
wants to hear you take that, take that. You see what I mean? Dancing all up in the videos, you
yeah,
know? Oh, you know what's crazy? Side note, there was this one TikTok conspiracy theory where they looked at the Biggie video, um, either One More Chance or It Was All a Dream, one of those big ones, and
yeah.
they zoom in to this scene where Puffy is, and it's this man wearing a halter top and like a wig. It's crazy. Like if you look in. So my point is like there he was when someone tries to tell you who they are, you should believe them. And I think
True.
now we're like, oh, he was trying to tell us. And there's all these clips of him, mad suspect clips coming out. And it's like, oh shit, that makes sense. Even Justin Bieber had a song about a Puffy party. He was like,
Yeah, isn't in the Big Papa video.
yeah,
I love
I
it.
think it's
That chick that
yeah.
he's.
Is a man, yeah.
Yeah.
And the flavor in your ear video too is a man.
Same chick.
Yeah. Yeah,
As
but
soon as he
anyway,
buy that wine, I just creep up from behind,
yeah.
and like yeah, and the chick is like he's like whispering in this, and supposedly that chick is a dude. I mean, yeah, yeah. Listen, I mean,
I mean,
not to,
whatever. All I'm saying is that there were dots being connected.
yeah, yeah,
There are dots being connected that, and I think that's part of the fascination with. And look at R. Kelly, like he made some of the most beautiful music, like Ignition remix. I believe I
yeah.
could fly. The dude is so talented.
Very
All his
talented.
music was so inspirational for a time that that's part of the fascination. Even
My favorite
even
song of late.
Weinstein.
My favorite R. Kelly song of late is "Do You Got Your Passport? Do
Yeah,
you have your shots?" Right,
I don't
that's
know
what
that
you
shit.
don't know that song.
Nah, his late shit, his later music is crazy.
It was
When
just
he
like
got caught and he's just
him
like, "Fuck
riffing.
it, I'm gonna be honest."
Yeah, yeah,
No, but the same thing with Weinstein too. I think it's like, damn, I saw thousands of Weinstein movies.
yeah.
I didn't realize that most of these actors and actresses were being, forced to, you know,
Well, that's the thing. Forced.
well, no, not forced, but taken advantage of. I would say,
I
like
mean, but the thing is, like, what did they want? It was obviously worth it to them to be like, you know, yeah, this is gonna get me where I
yeah,
want to
but
be.
don't blame the victim, yo. Don't blame the victim. Some crimes are worse than others, but
Yeah.
still, if you get taken advantage of, even if you had a
I don't
small,
know. I mean, that's a tough one for me because there's
yeah, it's a
certain
tough
things.
one, yo.
It's
Because
like
look,
yo,
you know the
because for every
story about
person that's
Bow
willing
Wow.
to do some low down Grammy shit to
Yeah,
further
no,
to
look,
advance yourself, there's another
also,
person that's not willing to do that shit.
that's true.
Like you know what I mean?
But think about this, the examples of like Michael Jackson. We didn't even bring up Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson and Bow Wow, like these kids who like Bow Wow. I don't know if you heard the story, it just came out where basically when Bow Wow was 6, his mother gave him to Snoop Dogg for like years. Was like, no, take him when he was
Yeah,
6. And he was like, I don't, you want me to go live with them? Like, I'm 6. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that kind of thing. Like Michael Jackson, all of the stories that came out, R. Kelly too. It was the parents who were encouraging the
Yeah.
kids
Yeah. Yeah.
to go do it, you know? And it's like, damn, yo, you really are that, even knowing that the kind of behaviors that these people do, still being like, yeah, take my kid because maybe, I don't know, I can get some money off it or they can get famous. I don't know. But like a lot of it is yeah, you're right. Some people had more or less of a part in it, but I still think don't blame the victim because if someone's taking advantage of you, they're using mental cunningness to do so. And yeah, you might be an idiot and maybe less of an idiot. Maybe you were aware, but still like he would bring Puffy allegedly would bring dancers, right, to
Yeah.
dance and drug them. That's what people are saying. So yeah, I would come and dance, and yeah, I know I'm dancing. It's like what we were talking about on Pause in DR. Like it's probably accepted that you go out and you kind of almost prostitute yourself to a certain extent to earn a living.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, there's still there's always someone to blame, I think. And I think that um you know
Well, sometimes you could blame circumstances.
yeah, yeah,
And
you
it's
can
just like,
sometimes.
you know,
But that's the thing. What he's saying is that you can't be repulsed at circumstances. You can be repulsed at people because
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
finger
Valid
to
point.
point. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. All
Anyway,
right. Well, let's get back to it.
yeah.
We-
Damn, we're only 4 minutes in.
I know we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And these crimes get highlighted. In other words, when for whatever reason, for any particular individual, these crimes are suddenly and selectively subject to accountability. Uh, there's a choir of hypocritical condemnation and outrage. Now, that matters to me, for instance, in the context of the Article 6 campaign to expel the United States from the United Nations, because just like Diddy or Weinstein or whoever, just like those criminals, and just like how everyone has known about their degeneracy for years, so too everyone knows about America's crimes. And just like with Diddy or with Weinstein, everyone is complicitly silent until the moment of accountability comes. Then they all rush to a microphone to distance themselves and disown the criminal with self-absolving condemnation. So this is why you might see France and the UK not veto Article 6 at the Security Council, because once we bring all the US violations to light in an official venue, not just in an essay or a book or a lecture or what have you, but actually in an official legal venue, violation after violation, crime after crime, human rights abuse after human rights abuse, stretching back for 8 decades, and call it out for what it is, why France and the UK are likely to act just like every associate of Diddy or Weinstein or Epstein or any of these other degenerate predators and race each other to the podium to condemn and distance themselves and exonerate themselves and try to salvage their own reputations and polish their own image and assure the world of how good they are, how law-abiding they are, how principled they are by throwing America under the bus. I
Pause.
mean, do you think that any of the European
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to get into it now because it's a much bigger topic. But if you think about it on a global scale, and I'm glad he's getting to this more important stuff because on a global scale, it's the same shit. It's the
Yeah,
same exact shit. Look at Palestine and Israel. That conflict has been happening for 80 years,
yeah,
right? More. And only now, after October 6th last year, you know, um, is when people are like, "Oh, I'm outraged." These Palestinians are being persecuted, but I guarantee 90% of them didn't know anything and still don't know anything about the. It's the most complicated conflict in history by far, and there's so much to know before you can be outraged. Like okay, yes, maybe they're being persecuted. Maybe that's wrong. But what else is going on? Like, I'm not trying to defend Israel at all, but I'm just saying, like, it's this, what he's touching on is this, like, absolution, whatever,
Absolutely. Yeah.
absolution of guilt, and like pointing the finger, being like, oh, they're doing something bad,
I'm still
like,
here. Keep going.
yeah. And and it's, I don't know. It's interesting to draw a line between these kind of meaningless celebrities with a global type of viewpoint, especially when you consider America's role in a lot of these conflicts.
Yeah,
Uh,
without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, this
common
dude
thing.
he's like
Yeah,
he's peeling back the layers of the onion without a doubt. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure.
And I think that's why it stood out to me. I was like, yo, we got to talk about
Yeah,
In
no,
colonial power.
it's a
no,
good.
because he's like, and I probably, now that I'm hearing him say this, I do remember I did hear this talk about the UN. I think this might be where I phased out, but or I watched like the beginning 6 minutes in parts, but yeah, but like let's just let this dude talk because yeah, you know he hasn't run out of steam yet, and he has a long way to go. So
Yeah.
let's let him riff for a
All right.
while.
Go ahead.
Powers. We're actually happy to watch the US take over their empires? No. France and the UK are both seething with bitterness and resentment and envy. While they'll be just as happy to watch America fall as all those associates and co conspirators of Diddy are happy to watch that belligerent criminal go to jail if they have been clever enough to protect themselves from being prosecuted themselves for their association with him.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Jay-Z.
I think France and the UK are just the same. They're in the same position as those associates of Diddy. They won't veto
I say that like I believe that. I don't know shit about Jay-Z's involvement in anything, but so many people say that shit.
Yeah.
Article 6 because it would too blatantly expose them as being part of the same criminal syndicate as America. It's like cutting a deal for immunity with prosecutors. This is why it's useful to understand the psyche, because frankly, it helps with analysis and strategizing, to understand the Western psyche, to know who you're dealing with and how they behave. I mean, there are actually so many facets to this story in terms of social critique. Like the fact that, okay, someone like Diddy, and actually most of the artists who were associated with him, were actually mediocre talents at best, with one or two exceptions. But you can literally see people uploading independently on social media today who are immeasurably more talented than these people are, than the people who the industry designates as being top tier artists. Now, to me, that reflects the financialization of the economy, whereby billionaires are created not by producing, not by creating, not by manufacturing, not by actually making excellent products, but just by manipulation of financial markets, virtual money, virtual valuation of shares, stocks, what have you. Like I've said before, Elon Musk did not become as rich as he is now by selling Teslas. He got rich through financialization and share buybacks of Tesla to artificially inflate the share price, resulting in his net worth ballooning for no reason whatsoever connected to production or to sales. So in the financialized economy, profit and wealth are disconnected from actually creating or manufacturing products of value. It is unearned money. So it's the same with artists. It's the same. A singer or a rapper or what have you. It's like a Tesla. They're just a financial instrument. Their profile is the source of their profit. Their celebrity is the source of their profit. And it doesn't matter at all whether they have any talent or not. Just like it doesn't matter that there are so many electric cars on the market that are objectively superior to Tesla. Nor does it matter even that electric cars anyway are already absurdities to begin with. No one cares. You only have a company so that you can have shares in that company. Making things is tertiary to the purpose of a company, just like talent and producing quality songs or performances or what have you is tertiary to the purposes of an
Well,
artist or a performer.
I don't know if I agree with that because, um, first of all, a lot of what he's saying is when it comes to music, it's subjective. Like what he thinks is talented, someone else might think is not talented. So that's a hard argument to make. I understand his point and I agree with
Yeah,
it to an extent, but there is a lot of subjectivity. Now in the other case where he's talking about um products and commercial business type stuff, like it's supply and demand, dude. Like if someone's buying it, you're gonna make it. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. I mean, it's like, a product is only as good as as its customers say it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like,
It's only
you see
worth what somebody's
yeah,
willing to pay for it.
yeah, like, so it's hard
Oh
to,
yeah, I mean, he's definitely, yeah. At the end of the day, it comes down to the mass appeal of the artist or the product or whatever it is that is being put forth for
right.
public
So,
consumption.
like, take for example New York drill, or even a lot of this New York rap. Like, I don't know about you, but I think it's garbage. Like, I think it's like, how could any? I think you once sent me this artist who's so big in New York right now, and I listened to one or two songs. I was like, it's offbeat. It's not
Yeah,
like, it's so weird. Like, but these little kids love that shit and they legit like it. Like they think it's amazing. And so you're not telling them it has nothing to do really. I don't know what it has to do with, but maybe it's separate from music. Like I think there was this one New York drill rapper who shot someone and is in jail, and maybe it's for that reason that people think they like his music, or act like they like it, or
yeah.
even truly like it because they respect who he is as a
Well,
person.
this is also an older guy, so what appeals to him? He's older, more cultured than the average person, and the market, the market has steered towards a younger and younger audience over the
Yeah.
past 40, 50 years. So it's like what mainstream mainstream is geared towards younger people.
But even that though, I agree with that. But even that, right?
Yeah,
The what's appealing to these younger people is, for me, objectively bad. Like it's
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, but I think they really love it, and so it means that it
Well,
doesn't
no,
matter.
they love it in the sense that it's cool, it's trendy, it's hip.
Right,
It's like
right, right,
it's now, it's what's happening now, and all of these artists, Puffy, like those Puffy, Jay-Z, Drake, Kanye, all these people are
old.
really long-lived
Yeah,
artists, which is why they're so powerful and so rare. The
yeah,
average artist, so the drill artist that you can't even think of the name of,
yeah.
um, he's gonna come and go because he's no longer gonna be in the moment at some point, and it's really like,
But
you know,
also, I think drill is a little different because at least in New York, like in LA, I think drill is just a style, but in New York, the only people doing drill, I think, are actually gangbangers. So
I
I
feel
think
you,
that there's an element of I have to
authenticity.
like this person,
Yeah,
otherwise
yeah.
I have a risk of being killed for
Well,
not
well,
like.
well. It was like back in the '90s. It was all like the word "real," right? Like keeping it real. Like this is real hip hop. This is
Yeah,
it's a badge of authenticity
yeah,
that you know it provides a certain level of street credibility. So if you are up on it, you can that street credibility can transfer onto you in some way. Like
yeah,
if all of the, like I'm in DR and I'm listening to Dembo music, and it's very very similar to drill trap music
yeah,
that's happening now. It's like it's very like rudimentary, uh, and
But I think that's appealing because it's easy to make also.
It's also
And
appealing because old folks don't
don't
understand it,
like it. And
don't
don't
really
like
like
it.
it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And
So it
in DR,
separates.
maybe that's not so much because that shit plays everywhere, and like I
Yeah.
don't think there's, but you
No, the
know,
same thing for drill. Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
but
It
if you compare it
separates.
to like the older folks will listen to bachata, which is a totally different vibe. It's like and it just it's the new abrasive music. Like in the '60s,
Yeah.
all of that Woodstock,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hippie
And
music
and
was
also
was abrasive to the older folks, and that's just part of the generational appeal. Like it's
yeah.
ours. You know what I mean? This is our
Also
music. You know?
also I think that you touched on an interesting word, which is authentic, because if you think about it, right, this new music, yeah, it's authentic, drill, whatever, but in our day with Puffy, he was actually making money. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was, to us, it was authentic. You see what I mean?
I think Puffy was inauthentic because he was mainstreaming hip hop. He was
Right, but he was authentically successful in whatever he was doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And a lot of us were trying to do it, not successfully. So in that sense, he was authentic. And I think now,
Well,
yes, I
no, but he was doing something totally different. Like you can't compare him to you know most of the artists that were there was a he like the type of hip hop that he was making was a different type of hip hop. Like
yeah,
now you have all these different
but even and you take any artist from Puffy's day, right?
yeah.
They were successful at something that we were doing every day. We were freestyling every single day, and we were good. You remember with Jose
I
and
don't
Juke?
remember us being good, but I remember us.
Come on, we were good. Jose is good. Juke is good. I was good. You were whack, but I was dope. And so,
Okay.
your beats too. Look at the beats. It's the same thing. Like we were doing it maybe better than others, but they were successful for whatever reason. And I think, I don't know.
No, I
There's an
mean, yeah, no, I hear
there's
you.
an element there
I
of
get. I don't know if you
I'm
could throw
stretching.
us into that mix, but there were a lot of people doing it that were genuinely better than a lot of the mainstream
Yeah,
artists. And then now there's like very like artists that freestyle that have that ability nowadays. It really does not translate into their marketability and their success. And
yeah,
Puffy
but
was the generation of hip hop that really separated that. Like that
yeah.
used to be a prerequisite ability to being a successful rapper. You had to be able to get on a mic and flow.
Yeah, yeah, but I think we're maybe authentic is not the right word. For me, what I'm trying to get at is there's something about these people doing something that's not hard to do, that they're successful at doing, that all these other people are trying to do, or at least are good at doing, right? For fun. We
Yeah.
were making beats for fun, and some of our beats were better
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting really
off
off
to, yeah,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
topic, but I also feel like just take it back. There is an X factor behind a lot of this shit. So it's like why Puffy was so successful because there was an X factor. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, as we now know, that we were not privy to at the time. You know, there was a lot of. I mean, you got to say that he has a certain level of business savvy
Of
that
course.
put him where he's at. To be,
Yeah,
where did he
he
start?
signed Biggie. He saw the
Well,
talent
even
in Biggie.
before that, right? What was it? Andre Harrell. Who was
Yeah,
the
saw
first
the
person?
talent in him, and even
Right.
Clive Davis is supposed to be one of these masterminds also that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
turned
I mean,
out
this dude was in
turned out.
like yeah, he was rolling with like Heavy D and the Boys, and like
Yeah,
Puffy goes back to a very early era of hip hop and is still, riding at
Yeah,
the, so there's something there that is not immediately evident. Like, he has some abilities and some talents. Maybe they're not like per se musical talent, like to be
yeah.
able to get up and just create a song. You know what I mean? But to be able to know what samples are
Or
gonna
know what you're
go,
good at, basically.
and
Like,
to be
look at
able, yeah, and to be able to utilize other people's talents for his own
yeah,
benefit. There's a talent there. You can call it a grift, you can call it like, but whatever it is, the dude definitely has
yeah.
it, you know what I
I,
mean? Without a
I
doubt.
was thinking about this the other day. Like, when you have money and fame, you could so easily diversify. Like, look how easy it is for Rihanna to start Fenty, or for Jay-Z to buy the Brooklyn Nets, whatever, Puffy to start all of his businesses. You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's so easy to do that, but but when you can find your lane, find what you're good at. Like, for example, look at Nori, right?
yeah,
Nori was one of the illest rappers for us growing up, right? I don't know
yeah,
about
yeah.
for you,
But
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 for
purely
me,
from mass appeal, but he did not have the skills
he
like
didn't
that.
have mass appeal, but he knew
He
that
had
he
he
had some.
had he had a certain
He
swag.
had originality. For me, it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
originality.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he was the first one to connect the dots between um reggaeton and hip hop. So that was huge. But just now, in finding his lane with Drink Champs, it's like he knows that there's something that he could lean on. Like, he's not great at rapping, but he found his lane. And so it's like there's a difference between easily, diversifying and finding your lane. Again, we're way off topic, but I think
Yeah,
it's all relevant.
yeah, yeah. I'm pressing play.
Yeah, go ahead.
Entertainment and art have been financialized. So, in other words, the people who are making the most money and who are running those sectors don't care even slightly about quality or producing anything of real artistic value. This is why you have so many celebrities that everyone wonders why on earth they are celebrities when they observably have no talent whatsoever. I mean, the most obvious example, of course, is the Kardashians, who don't even pretend to have a talent.
It's a good point.
But I mean, you can find countless others among those people who the entertainment industry tells us are the most talented people in their field, but who are painfully mediocre in reality. Well, okay, this is in and of itself corruption. These are people who have built wealth without building value. So it's both corruption and immaturity. It's deceitful and parasitic, and it divorces reward from merit, from work, from discipline, from worth.
Mm.
It's getting without deserving. So you don't go through the development process as a person or as a society that you have to go through to actually deserve reward. That's
But
the
hold on.
maturation process.
Yeah,
But wait, that's it goes back. Like, Kardashians is interesting because it's like, yeah, they're not offering any talent per se, but they're they're smart at being able to um make something out of nothing, basically. Like, I think that's what's appealing to everyone. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, you know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah,
if
but
they can do,
but the point, I hear what you're saying there, yeah. But just to bring it a little bit closer to what he's talking about, at least to me, he's talking about the American economy, American society, where you have people in the Western world who live a certain lifestyle, have a certain quality of life, right? Have access to certain resources and certain technologies and you know certain things that um, are are provided on the backs of the third world that creates and manufactures and all that, right? So it's like even there, you know what I mean? Um, that's exactly what he's trying to talk about. It's like he's kind of like masterfully like transitioning this Diddy situation into some completely all encompassing idea that you know the relation between Diddy's celebrity status and the power that came with it and the people that he violated, right, is very similar to the relation between the Western world and the third world, right?
Colonizers.
Right, we're exploiting these. Yeah, it's a form of colonialization where we're exploiting the resources of these less privileged, less developed, you know, but enormously, you know, enormously wealthy in a real tangible way, right? Like they have the actual
Oil. Yeah.
resources that we need, the
Yeah.
oil,
Yeah.
the minerals, the
Right.
whatever,
That's true.
right? And the talent, right? To be able to, the actual work ethic, they
Workforce. Yeah.
yeah. So they are, so we have all of that. We extract all of that wealth, you know, um, and have access to the wealth
Yeah.
that without any merit or any claim.
Yeah. It's economic warfare that U.S. does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
a good point.
it's
No,
deep.
you summarized it well. That's true.
All right, press and play.
That can actually make you appreciate the reward once you have earned it. It's the maturation process that gives you integrity, because unearned reward is just the other side of the coin of unaccountability. If you can have unearned reward, then you will also feel that you should not have earned punishment. These are the two sides of the same attitude, because you gained your wealth and your fame and so on outside the traditional framework of merit, hard work, and talent. So you will also feel that you exist outside the framework of accountability in terms of your wrongdoing. You're someone for whom the rules do not apply, because if the rules applied, well, then you wouldn't even be rich and famous, because you don't deserve that and you haven't earned that by producing value. So you think that the rules don't apply either to your merit or to your demerit. This is very, very Western. So now you have people controlling incredibly influential cultural sectors who don't care in the least about producing quality. These people give you the soundtrack, the reference points, the lexicon, the standards, the style, the attitude, the perspective, the personality, the ambiance that pervades your whole society and culture. These degenerate, deranged, deceitful, diabolical people are like the cinematographers who set the framing of your view of the world. They're the filter of popular culture that's placed over the lens through which you see reality. And it's a very dark and very warped lens. But again, this is your so called civilization. You have this thing now going around now. I've seen it online that people openly talk about what they call yachting, which is nothing but celebrities and models and actors, singers, what have you, literally being paid to fornicate with wealthy men on yachts, basically floating Diddy parties. And no one's offended, no one is outraged. Somehow for you, this is not disgusting, because the lottery mentality of the West, you all hope to one day be one of those rich men on one of those yachts, because you just take it as a given that this is the sort of thing that the rich get up to. And the only reason you don't get up to the same kind of debauchery and the same kind of predation as the rich is just because your finances prevent you. Not your morality, your finances. I mean, do you see how this looks to a Muslim? I mean, we see your social
Hold
media
on.
platforms, Instagram, X, what have
But this is what we were talking about in when we were on pause, is that like there's a fine line between a crime and a mutually beneficial arrangement. Like this yachting thing, he's saying, yeah, these people are willingly going knowing they're going to get paid, right? They're
Yeah.
not being forced, they're not being drugged, they're not being
Right.
lied
Yeah,
to. See what I
but
mean?
all right, but that's like it's a crazy question to ask. it's not even a question, but it just comes down to like the indecent proposal type thing, right?
Yeah,
Um, like how much money would it take for
yeah,
you to give up, in the movie, your wife, right, to a rich, which was like literally the same scenario.
yeah. We were
Like
saying how much money do you have to be able to drop a 20 and not care about it? Remember?
fuck a 20, yeah, yeah,
Right,
or 20,000, right?
right.
Like there's so many levels to it, or a million, like you know what I mean, like
But
so
again, it's different. Like a mutually beneficial and almost contractual arrangement is very different from a crime. You see what I mean? I think he's connecting one too many
he's looking
dots.
at it through a moral lens, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
It's not
before
like
that,
legal, not like a legal crime. He's talking about like just a morally corrupt way of
but that's
operating.
subjective. That's subjective. That's why
Well,
legality
no,
is
morals
important.
morals are not. I mean, this is a deep philosophical topic, but like I don't know that morals are.
They are absolutely subjective. Come on.
It comes down to like the golden rule, like like is that something that you would want for yourself,
Nah, but
or is
you
that
said
something
it,
you
the
want for your loved
indecent
ones?
proposal theory. It's the same thing. Like morals are flexible. Look at the basic philosophical question, right? The
Yeah,
train is going down the hill and it can either kill, 10 people or your loved one. You see what I mean? It's like or a kid, whatever it is, right? It's the
yeah,
same thing. Morality is flexible.
yeah,
It's very, very subjective. Like your morals are not my morals. We might have some in common, but I
yeah,
guarantee we also have some that are not in common. And we're very similar people,
yeah, yeah,
and yes, when you add a lot of money to it, morals definitely change more, but there's still morals. And that's why for me, the first point he made about Dominique Strauss-Kahn or whatever, like there's a line between a type of a crime. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a
No, no, no.
victimless crime is a victimless crime. You see what I
Right,
mean?
yeah, but this is all on a continuum. You know what I mean? Like so, like it's all on the same spectrum. You know what I mean? It may be different degrees, but it's all just on the same spectrum of like
Yeah, but
if you have a certain amount of power
I don't
over
I don't
over
see it that way.
like how much of it will you use? Maybe you'll use a little bit here and there. Maybe you'll be super humble and you won't use any of it. Maybe you will completely get intoxicated by that power and use it to satisfy your every desire. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, but see, for me, that's why it's important to draw the line between morality and legality. Like for me, otherwise it's an endless conversation, and it's going nowhere. When you're talking about committing a crime, like there's a reason, even though the legal
well,
system and
crimes also. I mean, like, what makes a crime a crime? It's
that's true. You're
the
right. That's a
degree
whole different point.
of
The
of
penal system and the
yeah, what's
judicial
a crime
system.
here may not be a
Yes,
crime there. Like,
that's
like
that's
all right, like
that's
so
another good
Diddy,
point.
so R. Kelly had sex with a 16-year-old,
Right.
or
No,
maybe in
that's a
some
good
part of the
point.
world that's a legal thing to do.
That's a good
You know what I
point.
mean?
That's a good point.
And or like in some states you can, or some
Yeah.
countries you can drink it at
Yeah,
18,
yeah.
others 21. Other
Yeah,
countries
Muslims
you can,
have 3 wives. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
feel
So,
you.
certain that the legality and the morality is very interrelated.
Yeah, and that's
It's
true. That's
all
a good point. I didn't
it's
think
all
about
it's
that.
very
You got
cultural
that one.
based.
You got that one.
It's very but but all right, continuing.
Yeah.
Got another 3 minutes to go.
Have you?
The 4
Facebook.
more
These are
hours.
largely being used just as delivery platforms, directing people to OnlyFans accounts or bookings for prostitutes. Your whole popular culture hypersexualizes women, glorifies violence, condones prostitution, promiscuity, drug use, drinking, pimping, gangsterism, and crime. And then you clutch your pearls in shock and disgust when one of you gets caught doing in real life what you always promoted in your songs and videos and movies. When you get caught acting in real life the same way that you acted on screen. when you get caught living the lifestyle that all of you tell each other is living the dream. Right? It looks to a Muslim like the only thing that you're actually offended about or outraged about is the getting caught part. But then, like I said, you just use those opportunities as a chance to pretend to be disgusted by the behavior of people whom you made rich because they promoted that same behavior in their songs and movies and videos. I mean, why weren't you disgusted by it when it was put to a beat? Why, if Diddy had released tapes of his parties in the form of music videos, his net worth would have tripled and he probably would have gotten a VMA award. Because the fact is, you approve of all this, you aspire to it. And in fact, that degenerate lifestyle, that predation, and that debauchery with impunity is actually the American dream. It's the colonizer, slave master, Western imperialist dream. And for anyone who's over there in the States or in the West who genuinely, truly does feel disgusted and outraged over this kind of thing, because I know there are some of you, all I can say is, you know how they talk about situational awareness, having that awareness of your surroundings and what's going on around you so that you can be alert to any threats or dangers nearby. Well, let's call this civilizational awareness. And just like someone who is oblivious to the threats and dangers around them on the street, you say that they have low situational awareness. Well, you have low civilizational awareness because you are truly walking around in a cloud of propaganda and indoctrination and obliviousness about the reality of the so-called civilization that you live in. You think that you're walking around in a park in the middle of a sunny afternoon surrounded by flowers and fuzzy animals, but you're actually in a dead-end alley at 3 in the morning in the pitch dark, and you're surrounded by psychopaths and serial killers. No, people like Epstein and Weinstein and Sean Combs are not anomalies. You're the anomaly. And in that predatory society, that makes you nothing but prey.